Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a new cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agumofwebe. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV, channel 365 and free to air on Night Consult. Chairman of Oyo State chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Happy Adedapo, has appealed to governments to give more incentives to health workers and doctors to reduce Jagba syndrome in the country. Adedapo appealed in an interview in Ibadan, Oyo State capital, where he said the Jagba syndrome, which was one of the major challenges of health workers in 2024, would be reduced to its barest if doctors are made comfortable. He said it is not too much for government to give car loans to doctors to encourage them and keep them in the health system. Minister of State for Works, Bello Mohammed Ganuyo, has reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to ensuring sustainable infrastructure development, modernized road networks, and driving economic empowerment for all Nigerians in 2025. The minister stated this in a New Year message, saying the visionary leadership and steadfast commitment to the Renewed Hope agenda has set the nation on the path to transformative growth and development. Gonroyo reiterated that the Ministry of Works, under the leadership of Engineer David Umahi, remains steadfast in delivering impactful projects that will improve the quality of life for every citizen. Kano State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it has arrested 1,345 suspects and seized over 8 million kilograms of illicit substances last year. The state commander, Abubakar Idris Ahmed, made this known in an interview in Kano, saying the suspects arrested comprised 1,301 males and 44 females, with the insistence that the illicit substances seized included hemp, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, codeine, and over 5 million tablets of tramadol. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has vowed to frustrate any individual or group attempting to undermine his administration's efforts to deliver good governance to the people of his state. Speaking at the 2025 New Year State Banquet held at the Government House in Port Harcourt, the state capital, Fubara reassured residents that his government remains resolute in its mission to protect the state's interests. The governor declared that his administration will ensure it protects the integrity of the state at all costs and not allow anybody take the state for a ride. Meanwhile, the River State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, says that presentation of the 2025 appropriation bill to 3 members of the State House of Assembly by Governor Siminalayi Fubara is illegal, unthinkable, and a violation of the law. The main opposition party in the state also said the action is against established governance protocols. APC chairman in River State, Tony Okocha, stated this while briefing newsmen at his residence in Port Harcourt, where he insisted that what the governor's action is a blatant disregard for judicial pronouncement. In a swift reaction, however, Governor Siminalayi Fubara of River State says the Victor Okojumbo-led State House of Assembly remains the authentic one. Let's leave River State now to other stories, where President Bola Tinubu says his administration is in no battle with state governors over the controversial local government autonomy. President Tinubu, in a statement signed by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, however, called for collaboration from the 36 state governors, highlighting their crucial role in grassroots development. The statement noted that the president said this when he received Vice President Kashif Shettima and members of the Nigeria Governors Forum, who paid him a New Year homage at his Ikoyi residence in Lagos State. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has reiterated President Bola Tinubu's commitment towards providing more dividends of democracy to Nigerians. Akume stated this at the Thanksgiving service held in honor of the Executive Director of Housing, Finance and Accounts, Federal Housing Authority, Matthias Buan, in Benue State. The SGF also called on youths in the state not to surrender themselves to the political class to be used as tools for destruction. On a sad note, 2 people have been hospitalized after the residents of the Soja area in Minna, Niger State clashed with some members of the Vigilante Corps. Reports say the clash was ignited by a raid carried out by members of the Vigilante Corps as they went after people in the Black Spots in Soja area of the state, which is known as a zone for hoodlums and drug peddlers. Let's turn to Nigeria's southeast now, where Abia State Governor Alex Otti has announced a ban on all forms of payments in primary and secondary schools across the state. Governor Otti, in his New Year address, underscored his administration's resolve to safeguard the future of the children. To ensure smooth school operations, the governor unveiled a new financial system for public schools, noting that head teachers and school principals are now entitled to specific sums every month for managing the day-to-day operations of their schools. A Catholic priest has allegedly shot a boy dead after the latest set of knockouts within the church premises during the New Year Mass held on January 1st, 2025 in Imo State. The incident not only attracted reactions from social media users, but has also left the community in shock and mourning, with residents expressing outrage and demanding a thorough investigation to uncover the facts behind the unfortunate incident. The spokesperson for Imo State Police Command, Henry Okoye, when contacted, said the command is already aware of the incident, noting that an investigation has been launched into the unfortunate event. An unruly French citizen was reportedly onboarded by Air France at Abuja Airport on New Year's Day after causing security and diplomatic concerns at the aerodrome. The unnamed foreign national disrupted multiple flights, prompting security personnel to remove him from the aircraft and restrict his access to the boarding area. Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection at the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Michael Achimugu, shared details of the incident on his X account, confirming that the passenger, whose identity remains undisclosed, was initially deboarded from an Air France flight due to disruptive behavior that posed a safety risk to other passengers. Elsewhere in the news, a group of northern elders from the country's Northern Youth Group have rejected in totality the recent allegations made by General Abdurrahman Chani, military head of Niger Republic, against the Nigerian President Bola Tinubu of conniving with France to destabilize his country. The communique read at the end of the 8th meeting of the Arewa Youth Coalition for Peace and Political Development and Northern Elders Progressive Group in Kaduna State stressed that Chinese claims are baseless allegations capable of overheating the polity in Nigeria. This is Global Television, and you're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns shortly, Jeju Air CEO banned from leaving South Korea as police raid airports over fatal crash. We have those details as well as business and sports stories for you after this break. Please don't go away. This is Abuja, Nigeria's capital, and you're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle with Uyi Agumofwebe. Let's return to the last half of the news with business for you. The federal government says it has commenced the implementation of the 2024 withholding tax regulations, which was approved by President Bola Tinubu in July 2024 and published in the official gazette in October. The revised regulations became effective on January 1, 2025, signaling efforts to modernize Nigeria's tax system designed to streamline compliance processes, reduce inefficiencies, and ease administrative burdens for businesses. Announcing the commencement of the new tax regime on New Year's Day, Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, said on his X account that these changes are particularly aimed at small and medium enterprises, manufacturers, producers, and the farming sector considered vital to Nigeria's economic stability and growth. An analysis of data from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, shows that the official exchange rate between the Naira and the United States dollar ended in 2024 at 1,535 Naira to the greenback. This was a 40.9% depreciation over the year when compared to the official rate at the close of 2023, which stood at 907 Naira 11 kobo. The significant depreciation comes amid the regulatory bank's introduction of several foreign exchange policies aimed at enhancing market transparency and attracting foreign investors. In a reflection of liquidity constraints in the interbank money market, banks borrowing from the Central Bank of Nigeria rose by 261.3% year-on-year to 106.3 trillion naira in 2024 from 29.42 trillion naira the previous year. The Central Bank of Nigeria has two short-term lending windows for banks, namely the Standing Lending Facility and Repo Lending. And while the Apex Bank lends money to banks through the Standing Lending Facility at interest rate of 500 basis points above the monetary policy rates MPR, it also lends money to banks through repo arrangements, which involves the purchase of banks' securities with the agreement to sell back at a specific date and usually for a higher price. Nigeria's gas output has risen month-on-month by 2.9% to 2,292,951 standard cubic feet in November 2024 from 2,292,471 standard cubic feet recorded in October of last year. On a year-on-year basis, the nation's gas output increased marginally by 0.02% to 2,292,951 million standard cubic feet in the first 11 months of 2024 from 2,292,471 million standard cubic feet recorded in the corresponding period of 2023. Away from business now, we go to the international scene where the United Kingdom government has announced new measures targeting people smuggling gangs, including travel bans and restrictions on phone and social media use for suspected criminals. These actions form part of the Border Security, Asylum and Immigration Bill aimed at dismantling organized immigration crime networks. The legislation introduces interim orders enabling law enforcement agencies impose immediate restrictions on individuals suspected of people smuggling. Meanwhile, British grime star Stormzy has been banned from driving for 9 months after being caught using a mobile phone behind the wheel of his Rolls-Royce Wrath in West London. The 31-year-old rapper, whose real name is Michael Ebenezer Orward Jr., pleaded guilty via a letter to the offense, which occurred on Addison Road, West Kensington, in March last year. According to multiple reports, the judge added 6 points to the rapper's license, resulting in the automatic disqualification, and imposed a fine of £2,010. China Ministry of Commerce has announced that it sanctioned 10 United States defense firms over arms sales to Taiwan, a second round of measures against American companies over the issue in less than a week. According to the ministry, the firms will be prohibited from import and export activities or making new investments in China, while senior managers will be banned from entering the country. China had announced sanctions on 7 U.S. military industrial companies, including Boeing Industry subsidiary, as well as over U.S. military assistance to Taiwan. And still in the world's Asian region, impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol remains defiantly inside his residence, resisting arrest for a third day after vowing to fight authorities seeking to question him over his failed martial law bid. The embattled leader issued the bungled declaration on December 3 that led to his impeachment and has left him facing arrests, imprisonment, or at worst, the death penalty. Supporters and opponents of Yoon have since camped outside his presidential residence, while members of his security team have blocked attempted police raids in a dramatic standoff. In the meantime, South Korean police say the chief executive officer of South Korean airline Jeju Air Kim A bear has been barred from leaving the country after one of the company's planes crashed last week, killing 179 passengers. This comes after a South Korean police raided the offices of Jeju Air and the operator of Muan International Airport as part of the probe into a fatal crash of a Boeing 737-800 plane that killed more than 170 people. And now to sports. The Confederation of African Football (CAF) Disciplinary Board has convened to address several incidents and matters arising from the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 qualifiers and CAF Interclub competitions. Various teams and football federations faced sanctions for misconduct, security lapses, and fan disturbances during critical fixtures. According to a statement on the Federation's website, the disciplinary actions reflect CAF's commitment to maintaining order and upholding the integrity of its tournament. Marcus Rashford has blasted what he calls ridiculous claims that the unsettled Manchester United star wants a new agent to fulfill his desire to quit Old Trafford. A report this week says England forward Rashford had met with a leading sports agency in a bid to engineer a move. The 27-year-old hinted he would be prepared to leave United in an interview last month. Gabriel Jesus says he's determined to keep scoring as Arsenal look to end their more than 20-year wait for a Premier League title. The Brazil striker, scoring his 6th goal in 4 games, told reporters that he wants to keep winning and scoring and helping the team. Arsenal have finished run-ups to City for the past 2 seasons and starts 2025 once again in 2nd place. And that's your news cycle. Thank you everyone for watching. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times 276, and free to air on Nightcomsat. Would love to remind you that you can engage with us using @Global TV NG, as well as other handles you now see on your screen across all of our social media platforms. I'm Uyi Agumofwegbe saying a big thank you to you. We'll see you again at top of the hour to bring you a News Prime.